Hello and welcome back to the Game Match Podcast. I'm your host Manny Friedman, along with my co-host.
Brad Sloan.
All right, looks like you're
I'm
you're
feeling
feeling
slightly
better.
better today, so
Good.
you get to see my beautiful face once again. In case you missed me yesterday, that's why we had to pod again. Is because Manny said the pod was unacceptable due to me not being on the camera.
Well, I was just so excited because we made so many good picks yesterday. I know you went over six in parlays, which is terrible,
Yeah,
but
but I still ended up positive money, which is amazing to go over six on
amazing,
parlays and
amazing.
end up on amateur parlays and end up still plus money for the day. It's just incredible.
Yeah, so that means we made a lot of good calls, and I was just so pumped up the entire day. So I'm like, we got to pod again,
Yeah,
So
yeah. Plus, you have a pretty exciting quarters parlay tomorrow.
Oh my God. It's one of the most crazy parlays. Basically 1,000 to 1.
800 to 1, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
It's yeah, I mean we'll go over it because it has 5 matches need to go my way tomorrow. But the fact that
I mean, but you're
in it
still
is
alive.
crazy.
That's just a fun sweat.
It's a fun sweat. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's $5 to win 4K,
Yeah.
which is you don't get that every day,
No.
So I'm just super excited. So I'm like, oh, we have to pod. I think it's the second time we potted back-to-back days, right?
It is. It
Sure.
is. I don't hate it though, because we also it's less for us to talk about then.
Right. Right. That's true. All right, so let's get right into it. So I guess let's start in Mallorca with the Tsitsipas match. Tsitsipas has just got awful. I mean, even his girl was there in the stands to kind of to watch him there, and he laid an egg. I mean, it was
Yeah, I mean, but again, you mentioned, right, the scheduling, so I was thinking about this, the scheduling actually does make sense.
it
If you
does.
look, like
You
I'm
found
looking
a
at this,
way to
but
comprehend this schedule?
I did, yeah. So
Okay.
this is a
You must
really
have thought
smart
about it a
tournament
long
for
time today.
I did spend a long time because I had to forget there are many reasons to do things in life, right? You and I
That's very
assume
true.
that the players trying to improve their ranking, trying to perform well at slams, all these different things, but there are other reasons to show up, and Tsitsipas took wild cards into all these events, right?
That's
He's
true.
seeing a wild card into all these, which I hate. I think it's a dick move because but beyond that fact, like he's taking wild cards into all these events.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at Mallorca, from what I heard, they pumped him really hard as a promo. I think him and Badosa were hitting, and they put video out of it on their social media. They're and in that and that it for Tsitsipas, and he's playing doubles with Feely,
Oh, really? I didn't
Cristiano
know that.
Lopez. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think this Mallorca tournament has less to do with tennis and more to do with marketing, because it's a genius marketing move. Spain is a hotbed tennis country. Obviously they have their guy, right? They have Alcaraz, so they have their guy. But for fans who are showing up to Mallorca for this tournament, Mallorca, from what I've heard, is a pretty fun place. If you're a fan showing up, and you see these constant promos of we forget how little a lot of casual fans know about tennis. I've told you this story. I went to World Tour Finals 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the year after Nadal beat Medvedev in that 5-setter. And the match I went to was a rematch of Nadal versus Medvedev.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the crowd in the stands for that match did not know who Medvedev was.
After that insane run in 19 and made the US Open final,
And
right?
played 5 sets with Nadal.
Yeah.
But if you saw, the entire crowd was all over Rafa,
Right.
right? Loving
Right.
anytime Rafa moved.
Right.
You forget that tennis is so niche.
It is.
And I could tell other anecdotes too. I could tell you anecdotes me telling my colleagues that my favorite tennis player is this slightly lesser known Spanish guy.
Yeah.
And it was David Ferrer, and they're oh, Rafa Nadal, and I'm no, he's a pretty well known guy.
Yeah. There's so many examples of it. I was in Cincinnati once, and I think it was later in the event. It was quarterfinal or something. And I heard someone say, "Oh, what court is Serena playing?" And she didn't even play that tournament. And it just it just showed how kind of clueless some fans are. It's just like, it's crazy. It is
And
very,
it's not some. I think it's like 35-40% of people that go to these events. So like my point behind all this is like Tsitsipas is by far away the biggest star at that event, right? So like if you're like he takes a wild card, gets in, probably gets a hefty fee, probably gets a hefty appearance fee, and then like he's like the face of that event, and by far like the second seed there is Fokina. Like there's nobody like in terms of like marketing for the event. There's
well,
nobody
he's
else
also
there.
defending champion. No, Fritz, who won last year? Was it?
No, he's defending champ. Yeah,
he's defending champ. Yeah,
yeah, and he's so, right. So they already have something to promote there. He's playing doubles with Feliciano Lopez. So again, like another like
that's huge.
brilliant marketing move,
they
right?
drew
Because,
the
like,
number 1 seed in doubles,
and they lost the first round. But like,
right.
but like, okay, look, like a lot, most like there's plenty of fans who are going there to watch Feliciano Lopez, right? Like, because he's a somewhat like again, he's not a known guy, but like it's another thing they're promoting, like Feliciano's last match, you know, for like the slightly more, you know, the slightly more real tennis fans. So like, you know, like my point is like, I think it's more like this event is,
and then now his girlfriend is Spanish too.
Right. So his girlfriend is there. So like another reason to play it, right? Like, and then yeah, so like I just like and I wonder, I mean, you might be right. Like Alcaraz might have him in such a mental funk that he doesn't even believe he can be number one anymore. And
I totally believe that.
And he's gone into a new mode of like basically a semi-clown mode. And like he won't go full clown on the tennis course. I don't think he even has the ability to be like funny enough to do that. But like I think he's starting to concentrate more on like what is his business, less, you know, more.
Yeah,
more
I
that.
mean, he's using it for kind of publicity, and then like I mean, he's a weird dude, but like he enjoys his photography and like all this kind of philosophy.
He's been all over social, right? Like look at how much he's been all over social media the past month.
Exactly.
Like,
so he enjoys all that kind of other stuff, right? And like tennis is his way of kind of getting that publicity, and I feel like he's more prioritizing that. Plus, he's in love on top of it. So it's just like all these things are adding up to him just not prioritizing tennis. And I think that Alcaraz match at the French Open where he just got absolutely butt raped. Like let's be honest. Like if
well, it's not. I don't even think it's that match, right? That match was bad. Him getting destroyed.
The Barcelona one too. You add that one.
But the Barcelona, he also got butt raped basically as badly.
Right.
So like, is there any reason for him to believe he can beat Alcaraz at this point? Like, I don't know if I was Tsitsipas, if I would believe I could beat Alcaraz after two beatings
really,
like that.
Really
like,
discouraging.
I mean, the Roland Garros one should have been 1-2-2.
It should have been without facing a break point, which we lost 80-1 on.
Yeah, but like 1-2-2.
That's
for a top 5, arguable top 5 player who's made multiple who's
made multiple slam finals.
He was a finalist, right?
Finalist at the French, and he made of Australia as well. So he's I mean, it was really bad, and
so I just feel like I feel like and you even look at like he played Stuttgart, like that's another tournament where like I think the second seed was Fritz, and there was nobody else who was like, you know, anything that could be remotely considered a star player there.
But going back to like a betting perspective, these books are still giving him massive respect. It's crazy.
I mean, I don't think they're giving him massive respect, right? Like Hoffman was only plus 300 today. They're still giving him respect. They haven't I don't think they've gone far enough yet, but like they're still treating him like a top 20 player, I would argue.
Hoffman was plus 300, and Hoffman isn't like no slouch. I mean,
on grass though, he's not as much. He's not as much of a grass guy. He's more of a clay guy.
Okay.
But I mean, I feel like the books are starting to get it. Like, I don't think the price was anywhere near right. You and I were all over that today, and we talked about in the pod last night how like pick your favorite pro.
But then I saw on social media that like, oh, Badosa's going to be there, and like it's the conditions are better for him and stuff like that. And I was starting to get a little bit on the fence, but I mean, we should just stick with our gut because like he's really playing badly. Like, one big serve to the backhand and the point is over. Or one big forehand to the backhand and the point is over. It's like he has no defensive capability right now on that backhand. And it's just like
Yeah, like I said, I just feel
crazy.
like there's not like, it just doesn't seem like there's It's also interesting because he took a wild card into Halle to avoid Alcaraz. Like maybe that's why he took the wild card because right he went to Halle and Alcaraz went and Alcaraz signed up for Queens.
Queens, right?
So like I don't know. It feels like
But it was weird because he went to Wimbledon and then I don't know if you saw that video on Instagram with him like on center court with his dad and Badosa, and they were like kind of marveling at like the serenity of it and like the quality of the grass and stuff. And it was just so weird.
Like I said, there's just so much that he's so involved in so much right now that's not tennis.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff right now that's not going to help him that I don't think will help him in his tennis career. Like I'm not going to say it like it's like having a relationship may or may not help some guys.
Right.
He seems to be like, and honestly, it doesn't even matter that he's dating Badosa. It's just like he just seems very preoccupied with social media right now.
He does, and it's
like weird vacations and like weird photography and like
yeah, it's just strange. I mean,
also the philosophy quote was hilarious. The quote about Mondays was so comical because I'm thinking like I'm like which way are we gonna take this, Stefanos? Like are you like is this because you don't want to play? Like because like tennis players play all week,
right?
And like you actually for Tsitsipas, usually Monday's his off day.
Exactly. Because he has a bye, right? So why are we commenting on Mondays?
So why are Mondays a problem for him? Like
well, did you like my translation?
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty good.
I was trying my hardest. I probably like if I wasn't at work, I probably could come up with something a little bit better. But I just needed to kind of
the real question is, did he use ChatGPT?
Ooh, that's a good question.
What are the odds on that? Like, I've got ChatGPT at like minus 150.
Me too. It might be minus 200 actually.
Then that was plus
150. Oh man, but I mean, Tsitsipas is a clear fade right now, and I mean, there's nothing that suggests otherwise, right? It's just crazy right now with him.
Oh yeah, he's completely a hard fade right now.
Hard fade. Yeah. Well, just his schedule. So he went from the French Open to Miami to Stuttgart to Halle, then to Wimbledon to practice for a couple days, then to Mallorca, and now back to Wimbledon. So that's his.
Yeah, like, it's
just like it just doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
And I was nervous for a while that we wouldn't hit the over 22 and that Hoffman would win the straight sets.
Well, so I actually had one unit on the money line and a unit on the straight set. So I was just rooting for the Hoffman money line. I had one on the Hoffman money line. And I had one on the over. So
I had the same, yeah.
So once I was like, okay, whatever. If I lose my over because I hit the money line, like fine. Like I'm,
right.
Like that's the price you pay for like trying to be a little bit hedgy, but like no, but we hit both. It was great. It was an awesome day.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's enough on the weirdo.
I also think like it is also like a tournament that suits Hoffman well, I think. Because I do feel like there's a little more bounce on these courts. The grass is a little more worn out. And I feel like there's a little more grass on traditional than a traditional grass course. I think this sort suits Hoffman a little bit better than some other places.
You're right.
So one thing about Hoffman and 10 minutes about Tsitsipas.
Well, is Hoffman really that interesting besides he just took care of business? I mean, like, that's really
not really,
did, right?
Yeah, not really.
Like, he cashed our bet, but it's like, it's all about Tsitsipas, right? Because if Tsitsipas plays his best tennis, Hoffman doesn't win that.
No.
So, all right, let's move down that part of the draw. Feliciano Lopez beat Jordan Thompson. I mean, so I actually called this match pretty well. I thought Lopez would win the first set. That was my bet here, betting that Lopez set one money line at plus 260. So I was thrilled that cashed. And then immediately after, he had 3 break points to go up 1-love in the second.
Yeah, and
I was like, I played right at that moment. I played the Thompson money line, and I got plus 180 because I'm like, okay, he has 3 break points. He's going to get broken back sometime this set, and he's going to gas out at some point, right? So I thought that it was a no-brainer. I mean, it was looking good because Thompson won that second set 6-1, but
I felt a little bit like you and I talked about it. Once Lopez went down a break, he didn't need to win that set. Like I was actually like, there was one point when there was like a 25 ball rally at like 5-1, and even the announcer was like, "Why is Lopez bothering? Like just just tactical tank this set and like play the third because like you need any energy you have for this third set." But like, give Lopez credit, man, for coming back.
Oh, 100%.
And he actually played a really good third set. He hit a couple of backhand passing shots. Like, I love this, man. Because also, this is like, I have so many takes on this match. But my first take is like, watching Lopez is like watching the old men, like, maybe this isn't anything against old men, but it's like watching tennis club, like old, like it's watching like 4.5 players, 4.0 players at the tennis club because like, that's the way. Like he played all these little goofy like punch shots and like all these young kids going with like their newfangled forehands and like big spin shots and like blasting the ball around. Lopez like no. We're gonna hit little chips and we're gonna like punch the ball and come into the net and like
right.
And we're gonna hit these like little tricky like cross court little like when he goes for passes sometimes, especially if it's like an easy pass instead of like ripping it. It's like a little like cross court dink, just barely past the guy. The guy like has to like
get it low under the net, right? It's like exactly.
But he could just like rip like all the newfangled kids would just rip it for a winner, but no, not low because he just dinks it. And like he still wins the point like 2 shots later, but he like dinks the guy around. Like it's amazing to watch. Like it's something that, like you and I can aspire to.
I know, definitely. I mean, besides his serve, which is like so much better than I will ever, my serve will ever be, or my volleys, which I'm terrible at. I think his baseline game actually matches what I do. Because I slice a ton, right?
Yeah.
For me, it's very challenging to hit through the backhand, even though I maybe hit a backhand pass on you maybe like twice in my life.
Yeah.
Right? Which happened in this match. Like, it's just like, oh my God, holy shit, what's going on? Right.
It's funny because then like the other 5 will like hit the fence. Like he goes to the backhand pass and he just like you can tell he's not good at it. It's like sometimes he'll hit it nice, but then sometimes he'll just drill the fence and you'll be like, yeah, that's why we don't try that very often.
Right.
There's a hilarious story that Brad Gilbert has of he's watching like Feliciano Lopez warm up for a match. Mm-hmm. And like every backhand he's slicing, and he's watching with Agassi, and Agassi goes, "Watch this. He's gonna try one, and it's gonna hit the fence." I'll bet, and he bets him like a steak dinner. And Brad was like, "Yeah, I'm on it. This is a warm up." Like, no way. Like, backhand Lopez drills the fence, and like then he goes with Agassi a steak.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah,
I mean, my backhand doesn't hit the fence; it hits the net. Unfortunately, I would actually wish it hit the fence. But yeah, I mean, I'm just thrilled. Like, honestly, to God, just like I posted this on the Twitter. I actually think Feliciano Lopez at age 41 plays smarter serve and volley tennis than Maxime Cressy. Would you? Do you have that take?
Smarter, yeah, not better. But smarter.
Okay, we can. But isn't smarter better?
No, it's better to be smart. But I'm saying like his pure shots, like his pure serve, and like I don't know. I don't think he's as good of a serve and volleyer as Cressy is at this point. Even like I don't know. He just doesn't like the movement. Even at the net, he's not quick, right? He's like. His hands are still decent in that, but he's not quick. Like,
but Cressy just blindly serves and volleys, whereas like Lopez will serve and volley, but only if it's there, right? Like only if
right. But that's my point. Is like I agree with. That's why I'm saying he's like his tactics are better. Like his tactics are amazing. His hands are better. Like I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
But like I think like if I had to pick between the two in a match, I'd still take Cressy.
Like so if Lopez and Cressy played right now,
I'd pick Cressy.
You pick Cressy, really?
Yeah.
See, I would pick Lopez.
Like I think this is a different circumstance because Lopez is like really fired up because he knows this is his last tournament. Right? Like if you look at Lopez before this, it was not pretty.
Okay, fair.
Like he hadn't. I mean, I think he had won one match the entire year before this.
But Cressy would probably be a significant favorite. I would certainly.
You might okay. Maybe if you want to say you would bet, but if they both guys were minus 110, I would hit Cressy. Like there's a reason why Lopez is ranked like 480 or something.
Okay, I'd stay away if they were minus 110. But I'm just saying, like, I was just watching Lopez today, and I also watched a lot of that Cressy Zhang match, and I'm like, damn, like Cressy is so bad, considering.
Yeah, I guess it also depends, right? Like maybe there's also something to be said, like in this type of setting, like for like one match or for like this is his last tournament, like he can get it up for a match or two, but like the consistency isn't going to be there for Lopez at this point, right? Like if he had to play next week, it'd be a disaster.
True. Good point.
Like right now he's completely on adrenaline because he knows this is the last, like this is it, right? He knows he's done after this. Like, and you can see he's got so much emotion. He's like just so happy to be out there. Like he was crying after the match today.
Yeah, it's really cool to see.
But it's so cool to watch. I mean, like, because he's had such a good career. Like he said, he's had an amazing career, man. Like
for so many holes, right? Like he couldn't ever really hit through the backhand consistently.
He never hit the backhand, yeah.
Right? Like limited baseline game. I mean, he kept himself in peak condition, right, throughout his entire career. So there's no doubt about that.
I mean, he hardly ever got hurt. I think he has the record for most slams played
consecutively. So too. Yeah, I think
I think the only reason he lost it is because his ranking died.
Right. No, but great career. I mean, fantastic. I mean, but yeah, it's nice to see him get to the quarters. I mean, that's a great result for him.
Oh, it's incredible that a 41-year-old who's at best like a part-time player now. I mean, he's like, is he the tournament director for Miami, Madrid, one of those?
Madrid.
Yeah. Which is hilarious because he could have given himself a wild card. We think you one of those, thank you. I think he actually played an exhibition a few years back. He might have, or no, that was Haas. That was Tommy Haas, the tournament director. Also, like, there was a funny story where Haas had to play an exhibition a few years back because, like, I think it was in the past couple of years. Like Nick Kyrgios pulled out. He pulled out like the semis of the finals. So like Tommy Haas had to step in because like they couldn't find anyone else to play. So like Haas played like an exhibition set to give the fans something to cheer for. Like Tommy Haas can still kind of play. I've seen him play. Like
I've heard
that. He still is like like he still could probably play on like the challengers and be like if he played on a limited basis, he could probably be okay on the challenger.
That guy had a world-class one-handed backhand.
Oh, I know.
It's world-class.
But my other take on this match, more from like kind of an interesting statistical / betting perspective, is like, so you were all excited because you hit your first set money line at 260, and like I stayed off the match because I didn't trust Lopez at this point, and like rightfully so. You should be happy with him at a 260, because it's not you don't hit him that often. But if you look statistically, like Thompson won 28% of return points, 12 out of 43 in the set, while Lopez won 7 out of 36. Which my initial take is like, that's kind of domination. Like 28% versus 19% is a pretty big difference. But then my second take on this is like, and I actually modeled this out, like if you can't win, it's around 30%. If you can't win 30% of your return points, you're less than 50% likely to break in the set. Which kind of makes sense, right? So like that means if you can't win 30% of return points, at best you're going to get to a tiebreak the majority of sets.
Right.
And so like maybe you're right in that okay, so if it gets to a tiebreak, like is it really just if it was just like random flipping and like it was 30% for this guy, 20% for this guy, it would be like, call it like 60, 40, 70, 30 or something like that for Thompson, right? But do you really?
Not necessarily in this case, because I think Lopez has a slight mental edge.
Well, so that's my point. Is like that's where I'm going with this. Is I do think there might be something to be said for tie breaks being different than like regular set play. Right, like for one, you're only serving 2 points at a time. Secondly, like there's a lot more pressure on each point. right? Because like one mini break can cost you the set in a tie break, whereas in a regular set play, losing a point on a service game is no big deal. So like, I guess my point is like it's like if you can't win 30% of your points on return, and it means it's gonna be really hard for you to break serve, and like tie breaks are probably closer to 50-50, in most cases, almost all cases, to be honest. Like, unless you're talking about maybe like Novak. I mean, like, I think the Match Point 9 guy talked about on their pod maybe it was last week or something, where they said like, and we had talked about this on our pod too, like even Hubie for his career is like barely better than 50-50 in tie breaks. Like, you think these guys who play all these tie breaks are going to be great tie break players, but like,
not necessarily. No.
It's and like just because a guy has like good mental edge, like, and is pretty mentally tough, good battler, doesn't necessarily mean they're better in tie breaks. Like,
I think Isner has a very good tiebreak record, but Isner is actually very underratedly mentally tough.
Yes, for sure. For sure.
I think it's actually not talked about enough with him because, like, I mean, Isner's not playing in this tournament. We're not going to get too much into him, but like, I'm just saying he plays so many tie breaks, and I feel like he wins a ton of them.
No, he does. He's over 60% for his career.
Right. So that's really impressive. And I think that's the only reason why he was able to kind of achieve what he's achieved in his career, right? Because
but even Isner, right? So like, and even these guys like Isner, like Isner, Djokovic, Federer, like even Djokovic isn't at 70%. He's like, I think he's the king. I think he's the best. And he's like 65, 66, something like that.
Federer is like second by just a hair, right?
Yeah. Federer's somewhere in like the low to mid 60s, and he's like low to mid 60s. Like, but like those are the best.
Right. Of
like
all time.
Yeah, like of all time in tie breaks, even specifically, right? Like, the point is like, for the vast majority of guys, tie breaks are like pretty close to 50-50 propositions. Like, maybe it's 55-45, like, so like.
So this one, like, I think Lopez had a mental edge over Thompson, right? And that's what made the difference, right?
That and variance, right? Like, I don't think, like, if you had given me before the tiebreak, I don't think I would have said like, oh, Lopez is a 60-40 favorite here. I don't even know if I would have told you
player, right? So it's probably pure 50-50.
It's probably, I wouldn't even think, yeah, maybe it's even a small advantage towards Thompson, but like, it's not like.
Yeah.
But maybe it's not. Maybe you're right. It's probably closer to pure 50-50. You're probably right. It's probably closer to pure 50-50.
Because Thompson is the better player, but
Lopez has a slight mental edge. Yeah. Right. But like, the point is, like, in tie breaks, like, even if you have like a big edge, it's probably like 55-45. Like, it's not really like tie breaks are really random. You really want to stay out of tie breaks, which makes me say, like, it's really hard to back these guys who can't win points on return, like the Cressy. Like, not that we've been backing Cressy, but like these guys who just keep, like, even Isner was tough to back in his career because, like, it was just like you're hoping he wins a tiebreak.
Yeah, but I guess, like, if he's the better player than the opponent, or it's like, he has a higher ranking or in better form, it's fine to back him. Like, if he gets to a tiebreak, he has about a 60% chance of winning it.
Yeah.
Right. So for him,
that's only minus 150. That's not like a massive edge in terms of betting.
No, I know. Right.
Like,
I mean, I feel as a bettor, like, when a match gets to a tiebreak that I have money on, like, I feel like
it's a coin flip.
I feel like it's a coin flip, and I'm on the losing edge more often than not. That's how it feels.
That's probably just like that's just like a natural human condition. But right. It is a true coin flip. It's pretty close. I mean, like, because the problem is, like, also, like, when we're watching and we're like watching and thinking about our bets, like, it doesn't really feel very different something like 50-50, or if you're winning like 52%. Like, if you're winning 50%, 47%, or 52%, like, we can't tell that. Like,
I know. Yeah. Yeah, well, good for Feliciano Lopez. I mean, that was an amazing effort. And I mean, I personally, I think he's a fade against Hoffman, but I mean, we'll get into that match a little later.
Yeah.
But how about Christopher Eubanks and Ben Shelton? I don't know how much of this match you saw. I didn't see too much of it, to be honest.
I mean, I guess it's just kind of covering the rest of it. Okay, so I guess, yeah, right. Today, correct. Yep, that's right. Those matches were yesterday, so we talked about those. So yeah, Eubanks. I watched a little bit of this match, a little bit of the third set from like 4-all forward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like, Shelton, like my take is that Shelton makes too many errors.
I agree.
Shelton double faulted to start the tiebreak, which was a critical.
Oof, Jesus.
Put him behind, and I think he missed. A pretty easy ball too at 2-1. Like he was down 1-2. He
does make a lot of
1-2,
errors. That's true.
Yeah,
he does make a lot of errors.
And like, it's just tough in a tiebreak, like to have that, like, and the problem is like this match was always destined to be close. Like I thought, what I mean, like, which is like, so I had the Eubanks 2-1 at 425. That was probably the best bet I made on the day.
Amazing.
And we had talked on the pod last night, like, and it wasn't like, it's not like this is something like you believe it's going to happen, but like, you think, okay, it's 50-50, it gets to a third set, like, and then if it gets there, like Eubanks has like some sort of real chance, like, it was worth the 420. I wouldn't have done it like 300, but at 425, it was probably
probably another good bet, which I stayed away completely. I just didn't know how this match would play out because it was just so close. I thought probably the Eubanks money line, and it's probably like in hindsight the right play here, right? Just because of how close it is.
And I don't know, like if you're gonna, it was so. I think it was a good play. I don't think it was like the you know what I mean. Like I think like this match was so tight.
Play, yeah.
But yeah. Like
it's just hard to hit overs at 25.
Oh, I know.
It's really hard to hit over.
But it was the right over. In fact, there's a match today with an over of 25.5. Or there's a match tomorrow with an overhead with an over under of 25.5.
Those are so hard to hit because like you basically need 3 sets
or 2 tiebreaks.
Or 2 tiebreaks. So the 3-set line should be like what, minus 120? Or no, plus.
No, 3-set line is 3-set line in the case of tomorrow's match is plus 115.
That's like the over-under is like 3-set line you'll ever see.
Yeah.
Right.
And the over-under 25.5 is minus 120. So it's basically 35 cents you pay to avoid 2 tiebreaks.
I'd rather just play a money line then on the guy I think is going to win.
It's tough. The over-unders of 25.5 are so high, man.
So
the funniest one, I've actually seen Isner matches get to minus money for the 3 sets.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen it. Last year it happened on one of the grass court tournaments where the over-under in games was 26.5.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane.
In fact, I want to say no. I think I hit the I can't remember what I did, but like you'll get some like really weird lines when it gets to when it gets to these
sometimes when it's 25.5, I just like on principle I want to hit the under.
But like 2 tiebreaks is so likely in some of these matches. Like today, like I mean today with Eubanks and Shelton, 2 of the 3 sets went to tiebreaks.
Yeah, I know. But then I'd rather hit the over 1.5 tiebreaks, which you probably get better plus money at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like this.
No, but you won't. But you probably won't. Like for a match
like plus 200.
Yeah, probably like plus maybe plus 150 to plus 200. Yeah, which is probably better than anything else. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So Eubanks he squeezed that match out and he will play Arthur Rinderknecht. You hit the Lestien money line, which
that did not work. That was
I hit the over, that didn't work out either. So all right, guys.
I'm not that surprised. Like Lestien, I mean, it was.
Yeah.
Lestien's been so bad. That's the lesson. Is like just Lestien is not good.
Not good.
And honestly, like we should have seen that because like that Kubler win was like Kubler was coming off a long run and Kubler's probably just like done.
I guess, but like on paper, that match should not be that bad.
On paper, Rinderknecht sucks too. Like, and we talked about it. It wasn't even like a pro Lestien. It was just like both these guys are bad. Like, give me plus.
And Rinderknecht is overvalued because of the Alcaraz match, right?
Yeah.
But is he actually in good form? Did he actually play pretty well against Alcaraz? Maybe.
Or Lestien just sucks.
Could be that too. All right, quick break, and then we'll be back to recap a little bit of Eastbourne and go over quarterfinals. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to the show. Let's head over to Eastbourne.
Kind of crazy, right? They played the entire round 2 in one day. You usually don't see that at 250s in general, and I'm kind of surprised. I think it's intentional, but it's kind of a cool way of doing it. I like it.
Yeah, pretty good. So how about Taylor Fritz? To me, I think he's in a fade spot right now. He's really not
He's a
playing that well.
soft fade. Like, I don't know, man. Like, you and I had talked about something. We talked about this match on the pod last night, and I was like, I stayed away.
Mhm.
But like, I'm not stunned that Mackie won. I think Mackie was like +2.
What was that, Brad? I lost you.
Sorry. He was like Mackie was only like a +2 something dog, right? 250 or something. Like he wasn't like a +500.
250, and I think it was like +3.5.
Yeah. So like it was real. Like he was a true dog, but he wasn't like massive, you know? So like for him to like that means he's gonna win 25-30% of the time. Like it's not a complete stunner. Like I don't know. I don't know like yeah, it's not good that he lost, but I'm not like and it hasn't been a great grass season for Fritz, but I'm not like I don't know. Like I don't think this is a sky is falling match. Like Mackey's usually pretty good on grass, except when he plays Diego Schwartzman.
I don't know. I think Fritz is just he's very one-dimensional. That's how I view him right
I
now.
don't know. I mean, like he's gotten better at that. He moves pretty well. He hits pretty well off both wings. He's stiff, right? Like we're talking about the same. It's the same. Like he's stiff. He's not like but like I don't
But
know.
the
He's
problem is if he's missing, if he's like error prone, he's screwed. Because you combine the stiffness with like being a little bit error prone, and like it's just very, very difficult.
and I get like he doesn't hit a lot of slice. Like his volleys are good, but like he's not coming in that much in general. Like his game is
Right.
more side to side. Like he looks like a true he looks and acts like a true like 10,000 hours guy, where he just spent a shit ton of time like practicing as a kid, which would make sense. I think isn't his dad or grandfather like the
Could
Macy's
be.
king or something?
Could be. Yeah.
Like his family is super rich. Like which is like super wealthy, which would make sense that they would have had time to like spend like because he looks like a 10,000 hours guy. Like he just spent a ton of time on a tennis court because like he's got great strokes and he's got all the strokes. He just like he doesn't have a ton of variety. He doesn't have a ton of like just like random athletic ability and like scrambling ability stuff like that. But
But I think mentally he's also what like tailed off 10 to 15%.
I don't know.
No. I just think like if Fritz loses that edge and he loses that consistency, it's just so hard for him to win because like he doesn't really do anything special. So
Yeah,
he
like it hasn't been a good grass season for him. I mean,
is
so for
not.
the grass season, right? He
And
beat Karatsev and Zapata Morales.
really bad, yeah.
Lost to Fusevitz, Manarino, and McDonald.
It's not good. And then
Like
like
that's not great.
he also has a slam problem, right? We haven't talked about this for a while, but like
Yeah,
he hasn't done
yeah.
well
Although
in
like
slams, and I think that being that one-dimensional kind of player actually hurts him in slams because in slams you have to make adjustments. It's such a long match that like guys are going to kind of figure out how to attack certain weaknesses.
although I guess we'll say like I guess I'll come back off that a little bit and say like does he really have a slam problem? Like because okay, like French Open this year he lost to Cerundolo. On clay, that's not surprising. Cerundolo is a top 20 guy. Like I don't think
Okay,
it's a
but
bad
the
run.
Popperin, the Holt match.
Popperin played an amazing match. I'm not going to ding him for Popperin. That Popperin played a fantastic tennis match. Holt, yeah, we'll ding him for that. Losing a set to Bash at the Australian, like we'll ding him for that. Wimbledon, he had a good run, right? Like made the quarters. That's a good run.
Good,
I know that's like
good
the one
run
good
only
run he
because of
made.
an easy draw. Who did he play in this first 4 rounds?
Musetti, Alistair Gray, Molchan, and Colt Kubler. But he beat all those guys in straights.
Okay.
Like I'm not saying like greatest run of all time, but like that's a good run. That's a top 10 worthy run. You made the quarters of a slam. That's good. Um, Roland Garros last year lost to Zapata Morales on clay. Like it's not good, but it's not terrible. Like Zapata Morales has proven himself to be a somewhere in the top like 30 clay guy. Like it's an excusable loss. Lost to Tsitsipas in the fourth round of the Australian at the beginning of 22. And then before that, he wasn't even a top 30 player. So like, I don't know. Like,
Right.
I think we're probably overacting a little bit to the Holt loss. And then like the fact that he doesn't have like any great slam wins.
Okay. But just based on current form, like if he has to play a guy like, I guess, a Michael Ymer in the first round, or a guy like, I don't know, I'm just looking.
No, I think the biggest concern is if he plays a guy like Mackey again. That's the concern.
Mackey again, if he has to play a guy like
Like Marino or Mackey. I mean, the guys who beat him.
I know.
That is the thing too. Is I guess the guys who beat him. We kind of had this about this on the pod. Like last night, like Mackey wasn't a bad like look in terms of like style matchup. I just didn't love the fact that Mackey just usually like this is his third win in the past. Like or Mackey, we talked about last night how bad Mackey's record was against the top 20, right? And like it's a little. He's got 2 wins now this grass court season against the top 20. But like that's why I didn't back him. Otherwise, I probably would have hit Mackey. Like I didn't think like Mackey's got a good game for grass.
He does. He does.
So like I don't and like Reno has obviously a really good grass game. Like he's probably top 30 in the world on grass, if not knocking the top 20 door. So like, we're saying all this like, and obviously like it's not good for Fritz to lose these matches. Completely agree. But like, it's not like he's losing to, Karatsev or like, Zapata Morales on grass. Like it's yeah.
Okay. So I guess I'm pretty close to you. I think he's a soft fade at Wimbledon. I'm very curious to see where he lands in the draw. Because
like Tsitsipas is a way harder fade than Fritz, right?
Yes.
That's kind of the point. Like Tsitsipas, like there's not that many hard fades out there. Tsitsipas is a hard fade.
If Fritz played Tsitsipas right now, and Tsitsipas was like a -140 and Fritz was a +110,
you'd have to hammer that.
Hammer Fritz.
I would hammer Fritz at -110 right now against Tsitsipas. No, like Fritz's losses are like understandable losses. Like they're not just like you suck. Like
Fritz also has a game that can trouble Tsitsipas, right? Because like Fritz can attack that backhand.
But it isn't really about the head-to-head matchup, right? Like this is more about like just who's the better, like who's playing better right now.
Okay, fair.
Like my point is like Fritz's losses are like they're excusable. Like they're like it's not good. Like you don't want to keep piling up these like slightly bad losses as a top 10 player. I agree, but it's not like I don't know. It's not as bad as you'd think. Like he's it's
not that good. I really don't think the Fucsovics loss is really acceptable. Cerundolo at the French is totally acceptable. Dimitrov, I guess at Geneva is pretty acceptable. The fact that he like fought back and fought third set breaker.
Hoffman's pretty acceptable.
Hoffman losing 4-1 is not really acceptable.
Not good. That's pretty unacceptable.
Zhizhen Zhang, that's not acceptable, especially
the way he lost that match was horrendous.
That
was horrendous.
Bodik in Munich, that's not acceptable.
Bodik's acceptable.
Bodik?
Yeah.
No. But the way Bodik has played this year, no, that's not acceptable loss. That's an absolutely horrible loss. Monterino and Queens, okay. I'll give that to you.
And I don't think Mackey here at Eastbourne is a terrible loss. Like,
okay. I mean, soft fade. I think that's
soft fade. I mean, the bigger concern, right, is like if you're looking at these matches, like the bigger concern is here's the wins: Bernabe, Karatsev, Rinderknecht, Emo, Ivashka, Yaron, Garin, O'Connell, Team, Fucsovics, Tsitsipas and Monte Carlo is the one good win. Lehechka in Monte Carlo, another.
Well, he had a really good run in Monte Carlo. Remember, we were.
And he had a really good one in Miami, and he actually, he was really good up until Monte Carlo.
He was
pretty good all year, to be honest. Like he was good for 4 months. We were talking positive about him. He's a great ball striker, etc. And it's just the past 3 months the skids have completely hit.
Yeah, right. He's tailed
like ever since Monte Carlo.
I mean, I remember we were watching, like, you came over for that semifinal against Rublev, and he won that first set, and we're like, oh my God, Fritz is like the better player. It's amazing, like what he's doing, and like best ball striker in the game, and like, and it's just, yeah, it's just hard to maintain that.
It's just weird how the bottom's falling out. You wonder if something's going on, to be honest, because like we hadn't really talked about how, because like the thing is like despite this, here's what's crazy, right? And like the tennis, this is how tennis rankings are, and it's just so weird because it's 52 weeks. But in that time that Fritz has, since Monte Carlo, Fritz's ranking has improved from 10 to 9.
It's true.
Which is like kind of amazing.
And even if he loses first round at Wimbledon, it won't have any impact because they had no points last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, other guys will get points, so it'll probably get passed. So it will have an impact because other guys will get points.
That's true. That's true.
But like, still, but the point is like, even with this run, he's still top 10, and like his ranking hasn't moved. So, like you forget about how, but you wonder if something's going on because it's been a pretty brutal. I mean, I haven't looked at any news, but it's probably something like worth looking into because like there's been like it's been a really ugly run since Monte Carlo, man.
It's been ugly. It's been bad.
He doesn't have a single top. His best wins are Karatsev and Zapata on grass.
It's bad, yeah. And like he didn't beat those guys convincingly. It was like 6-3 and 4-5.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not, yeah, it's not good.
And those are two guys who are not top 50 in the world on grass.
No, absolutely not.
Like, yeah, it's been ugly.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's Taylor Fritz. I mean, we haven't talked about him for actually quite a while.
We hasn't done anything to be worth talking about. We kind of just like, we're like, whatever, it's fine. But like, it hasn't been good.
Yeah. And Mackie McDonald will play Michael Emer, who beat Liam Brody.
I didn't see the
pretty
match.
convincing.
I can't imagine that was a great match.
I mean, I
bet the Brody money line. Just I don't know. I was like, oh, Emer has kind of low compete level sometimes. Maybe he'll like want out. Brody's a Brit, like he's at home, like this should be a big match for him. He should want to compete here. Like
I had Brody in one of my parlays. I didn't single bet him just because I wasn't like too confident, but like
I wasn't either.
But, but like it was what like plus 165.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, I think the only way to hit that match was Brody prior to it.
Oh yeah,
I didn't really like any Emer line there.
I should have just stayed. My initial inkling was stay away. We talked about it last night. And I was like, we said stay away, and then I convinced myself to take Emer or take Brody, and it was just dumb.
Yeah.
All
right, Cerundolo Husler. That was one of my plays of the day. Not the GBM play of the day, but just my.
Because I didn't like it because I was like, I told you I thought this was a true coin flip, and it honestly looked like it worked out like it was a true coin flip.
Kind of was, yeah.
Like, yeah, just actually, I think I told you like I thought the line was pretty well set. Like, I thought Cerundolo was slightly because I didn't hit Husler at the plus 110 either.
And Cerundolo was up a set and a break at a point in that match, right?
Yeah, and Cerundolo is slightly the better player. He was about 4 points better. Like, but again, that's the difference in the tie breaks, right? Like, so like, I mean, he's slightly better, and that's why he won both tie breaks. But like, close match.
Yeah.
Husler's tough on the grass. Like, I mean, Husler's a big game, and he's got the talent on the serve and the forehand. It's just, not really able to
tolerance. I mean, that was the difference. I feel like just Cerundolo's ability to kind of defend and kind of get one more ball back, right?
Yeah.
So, and then how about our sweat of the day? Not our bet of the day, our sweat of the day.
Yeah, Zhang.
Zhang.
Well, I told you this, right? Because like, wasn't this one of our bets of the day, or wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah, so it was our bet sweat of the day. And like I told you, I didn't love going on this at the beginning, but we really couldn't find anything else. Because like I told you, right? Like take the Zhang with the plus money, but it's low confidence because Zhang can be all over the place.
You really can.
And like that's what played out in this match.
So let's just go over the game script here because I think it's fascinating.
Yeah.
So Zhang got broken immediately to start the match.
Yep.
Played an absolutely horrendous service game. missed a floating forehand in the bottom of the net. It was just absolutely terrible. Cressy serves it out. He holds serve the rest of the set, wins at 6-3. Second set, everyone they all hold serve to 4-all. Zhang is serving. I think he was down love 40 in that game.
Yeah.
Right? Came back to deuce, right? So saved 3 break points. I think he proceeded to save 6 more break points that game.
Or 7 total. Like so 3 and then 4 more. I'm looking at the match beats now. Okay. It was 3 and 4 more, but like, yeah, it was 7 break points saved in one game. It was an insane hold. And like,
absolutely
I wasn't able to watch that particular part of that. I was able to watch a little bit of it at bits and pieces, but not that particular game. But yeah, like.
And at that point, Cressy is up 6-3 4-all, right? So if he breaks there, he's serving for the match and our bet's over. Right?
Yeah.
So Zhang holds. Then didn't Cressy hold?
Cressy held easily for 5-all. Cressy held easily for 5-all.
Easily for 5-4. And then didn't Zhang have to save more break points in that 4-5 game?
He had to save 1540. Yeah.
So he saves that. I think Cressy had like an open court backhand and he sliced it and dumped it in the bottom of the net or something like that. I mean, it was so bad. And then so Zhang held there. And then so what was it? 6-5 Zhang?
Yeah.
Right?
And he broke Cressy to win the set. Yeah.
Right. And then
set 3.
Set 3. We're not done yet. We're not done yet. So immediately Cressy breaks in the first set.
40-15 down, Cressy broke to start the third.
Jesus Christ.
So everyone's gonna be like, all right, good, 40-15. Nice, clean hold, start itself. Nope. No.
Nope. You got So Cressy breaks. And then Zhang immediately breaks back. On a Cressy double fault. Of course.
Yeah.
It has to be a double fault on Cressy.
Yeah.
And then didn't Cressy break right back?
Cressy broke right back the next game. Yeah. Zhang gave him a couple points again. It was just,
I mean, it was excruciating. And then I think Zhang broke back at like what, to 4-all?
No, so they held serve to 4-3.
Okay.
But yeah. And then Zhang broke at 4-3 for 4-all, held for 5-4, and then broke him again to win the match. But like,
right.
Yeah, insane. Like Cressy got broken 3 times in a set on grass. And broke himself, he broke twice and lost. I mean, but like this is part, right? We talked about this yesterday, and we kind of called this like Zhang is like he's like we had talked about this, right? Like you said, at some point I don't know if I talked you into the bet or how would this ended up happening, but like because you're like, oh, Zhang's losses were terrible. Or maybe it was the first round that I bet Zhang money line and I won, and you were like, I don't know.
You bet him against Sonego, and I didn't think that.
And like, here's the thing: like Zhang's he's gonna hit some great shots. He's gonna hit some terrible shots. Like, and it's just a matter of like how many of each he hits.
I guess. I mean, I was watching that match probably more than any other match today, and it's just like. I felt like anytime Zhang had a target and like Cressy kind of made his way to the net, he would hit the ball 20 feet long.
Yeah.
You know, it's
I don't think he's particularly like he's not particularly good at aiming, Zhang. No, like he doesn't really aim. He just fires.
I know. I mean, I was super intrigued by the match just because it was the bet of the day. We had plus 170 on it, and it's just like I had parlays on this thing too. So it's like I had money invested, which is why I watched it, but I thought it was an absolutely atrocious tennis match. Like terrible.
Yeah, like that's the thing, right? With Zhang, you're gonna have some of this. Like it's like which is why it's like you're just never gonna have confidence betting a Zhang match. Like, which is why he's fine as a plus money. Cause like he's fine as a plus money because like if he tanks, if he blows the match stupidly, he like blows the match stupidly and like whatever, you lose your unit, but like you're so much happier if he wins, right? But like but yeah, it's I
mean, this match today,
it could be good, it could be terrible with Zhang. You have no idea. It's all over the place.
Yeah. This match literally took 5 years off my life. Like, no joke. It was it was horrible. It was just
But
terrible.
that's gonna be every Zhang match, man. Like he's just
Yes.
he's just all over the place.
And I actually watched it, so it's one thing. I think you were
He's also somebody you have to be
watching.
careful betting against. Like you really don't want minus money things in Zhang, and you really don't want to lay juice in Zhang matches.
You don't. I
And
agree.
he's not an over 12.5 guy.
No, because like he lost to Wessels, I think what 2-3,
Yeah,
like that.
like you don't want the 12.5 against him either, because like he could just tank
Yeah.
out and like your guy could get 6-6. Like
Right. Well, we got there at the end, barely, but it was clearly a massive sweat, but we got there, so happy about
yeah.
that. Moving
Another
on.
decent win. Moving to the next quarter.
Yep.
Decent win for Kecmanovic again, beating Bukic.
I hit the -2.
Another one you got complete. Like the book was right.
The book was
Like
right.
you made money on this one, which is why it's an amazing day for you. But like the book was right. Like I stayed away, and this was when I with 100% the right place to stay. Like the book was dead on there.
Yeah, they were. They were.
And Barrera beat Yari. I lost my money here. I had over 10. And I said like the only scary thing here is 6-3 with one break, and I'm pretty sure 6-3 with one break is what came in.
Yeah, that stinks. I mean, I hit this match perfectly. I hit the Barrera money line at +160, and I hit the over 23.
Yeah.
I had differing bets, just my bet cashed and yours didn't. I don't. I think you just got unlucky here, to be honest.
A little bit, although honestly, Barrera, I'm looking at this. Wow, Barrera actually, there were 3 breaks in the first set. So I had the game script pretty wrong.
I mean, I had the over 12.5 in the first set as well. I thought there were these 2 tie breaks. Like I thought this match was pretty similar to the Eubanks Shelton, where there would be like multiple tie breaks.
But this was the opposite. Like this was like I mean, I'm amazed at how many breaks. I'm looking at the stats now. There were both guys won over 40% of return points.
Wow.
Which is pretty amazing.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Actually, no, wait, that was the third set. I'm sorry that happened. For the match, both guys were Barrera's at 41% of return points. DR was at 35 for the match. But still pretty darn good. Yeah. Breaks 4. Yari got broken 4 times. Barrera got broken 3 times. So a lot of breaks. A lot more breaks than we thought.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I think Barrera is like, I don't know, he kind of sleeps.
He's better than you think. Like we keep talking about him as like a French indoor hard guy, but he's been decent. Like he's like, I think he's just another guy in my mind now. Like I'm kind of changing my tune on him here to say he's more of like a.
He's actually not that bad, and like you think, like he's just. I don't know.
He's obviously the forehand's the better wing. He's like a big ball, like big serve forehand kind of guy, but like he's like a decent like.
He has decent rally tolerance. It's underrated.
Yeah, like he's kind of a tennis player.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
I honestly think he's better than Rinderknecht.
Yeah, I agree. Like I think he's better than I mean he's pretty close to like an average ATP level player, to be honest. Like he's not anywhere near we kind of, I feel like because like the guys we see the most are like the top, even like let's say 20 guys who are constantly in like the later rounds of even smaller events. Like we kind of hold a lot of the guys to that standard. But like these guys in the 40s and 50s, like the reason they're in the 40s and 50s is because they have like some sort of issue, right? Like, and the gaps are pretty low. And like I think Barrera's part of that class now, where he's like
he is
legitimate ATP player.
I'm very curious to see what you feel on the Barrera Kecmanovic.
I have a funny take on that one, so it'll be a good talk. It'll be a good chat.
All right, sounds good. And then that
bottom, the bottom half, Wolf beat Dan Ash. This was the worst.
That was the worst loss.
Terrible beat
today. That was terrible.
Because I was debating between the games and the sets, and I was like, oh, I'll take the sets. It's even money, like, and 6-2, 6-7, 6-1.
Didn't Wolf also have match point in the second set?
Yeah, he did at 5-4. I think he had 2 match points.
Ouch.
Yeah,
That's tough.
this was kind of an all-timer for me in terms of like because it wasn't like he just lost. It wasn't like he lost the match. Like no. He came back and won the third 6-1. Like he was the
He was
dominant
clearly the
player.
better player.
He was clearly the dominant player. Like I got the game script right, just the wrong read. I got the read right, just the wrong bet. So like I can't be that like it sucks, but like it is what it is.
So did you watch this match? I didn't watch any of it, to be honest. Like
I
what
watched the I watched Wolf. I watched like 4-all in the second set until the bet lost, and then I had to like wait for a call.
So did he like start spraying balls? Was he like kind of erratic during that period?
Sort of. Actually, Van Ash, like, I guess, like, but like it wasn't like he was spraying the first ball of every rally, right? Like Van Ash played a decent tiebreak. Like he played like kind of a Djokovic-esque, like a Djokovic-esque tiebreak where he just didn't miss. And like he made Wolf went for too much a couple times, but like I think he missed like the last point of the set pretty close. Like I couldn't tell if it was in or out watching. And then like on tennis TV, like the highlights came up and you knew he had missed, but like because it was 6-5, right? So like he missed and like it was like they went for a changeover, and I was like, oh, maybe it's just changeover, and I was like, oh no, it was
because I like Wolf to win here. I just didn't tail you because of like Wolf's inexperience on grass and just like the fact that he can just go awry in terms of making errors.
Yeah,
He can like have a 3-game stretch where he just makes like 10 errors.
it's hard to define against Van Ash, right? Because like the way Van Ash plays, like you're not going to see like yeah, it was mostly Wolf making errors, but it was like it wasn't like he was missing the first ball of rallies. It was like the 5th or 10th ball, so it wasn't like
okay.
Van Ash was playing, and Van Ash was like putting the ball in decent spots. He's getting decent depth, like.
But
Wolf
is prone to making first ball errors. Even if
I'm saying he wasn't really today. You know what I mean? He's
okay.
prone to that, but I didn't feel like he lost the set because he was like, I didn't feel like he just like bombed the set out. Like Van Ash played like a pretty good, like within himself, but a pretty good Van Ash like tiebreak.
Okay. And then this Baez Paul match. I mean, we both got the bets wrong. I had the +4.5. Did you go with the sets or did you go with the game?
I took the set and a half. So I had a chance there. Yeah,
it's a tough beat too. I had the game, so like I wasn't really like my bet wasn't really in question unless Baez could have like came back and won the third.
Yeah, you needed Baez to win the match, but yeah.
So I kind of like after the 6-1 set, I just stopped watching it and moved on to the Felly Thompson match.
Yeah.
But like,
I did too, to be honest.
What happened in the second set? Like
Paul served for the match and blew it. He pulled. I mean, that's what Paul does, right? Like
that is what Paul does. Because then it was all over the Discord, and I was like, "Holy shit, what happened?" Because I was like following the Thompson Lopez match, but
yeah,
I mean, Paul must have squeaked it out at the end.
What?
Paul squeaked it out at the end.
Yeah, I didn't watch it because I'd flipped just like you did, but yeah, Paul. It looks like Paul served for the match, got broken. He was up 30-love serving for the match, had match point serving for the match, got broken. Baez just competes, man. Like you got to hand it to Baez. Then Paul had love 40 at 5-all. Baez held.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, but Baez never got a set point. He in the tiebreak 9-7, but Baez
9-7, but no set points. Okay.
Yeah, but like close second set. I mean, again, not terrifically surprising. I still don't know how I feel about Paul for tomorrow against Wolf. That'll be a fun match to talk about.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's get right into it then. So
we're gonna go to Eastbourne first or Mallorca? I think Mallorca's probably more fun, so we should save that for last.
Okay, let's start with Eastbourne then. It's fine.
So we got 4 quarters. First up at 11 a.m. on center court, we got Cerundolo and Zhizhen Zhang.
Ooh. So I have a very clear play here, and you can probably guess what it is.
Cerundolo 2-0?
No. I prefer the games here. I prefer Cerundolo -2.
Okay.
What is Cerundolo's straight sets though?
+155.
Ooh, I might have to play that too.
That's my play here. There's a couple things I think here. I have 2 reasons here. One, I think Cerundolo is a terrible matchup for Zhang. Like Zhang's gonna punch, and Cerundolo just has to counter punch and get enough balls in the court and let Zhang miss.
Agreed.
And I don't think the book's playing that I feel like the books here are just saying, oh, Cerundolo's a better player than Zhang. But I think on top of there's a massive matchup issue for Zhang. So that's the first problem. the second piece is that I want plus money on Zhang stuff. Because like Zhang could win this match. Like Zhang, is Cerundolo's certainly not gonna the match is gonna be on Zhang's racket. I'm not saying I'm gonna bet. I'm like, my original thought here, my original thing I wanted to bet here was actually the Zhang money line, but it's way too thin.
It's way too 30. Yeah,
way too short.
Way too short. Because Cerundolo is the way better tennis player. If you just like take the surface out of it and just like take tennis player for tennis player, Cerundolo is so much better.
Yeah, and it's also like Zhang could go completely haywire, right? Like he lost to Wessels 4-2.
Right.
So like, I can't take Zhang at plus 130. Like if this is Zhang plus 300, I could do it. But like,
right.
So it's amazing, right? Because like Zhang was plus 3 something in Sonego a few days ago.
Yeah.
And now Zhang is plus 130 on a grass court. Is Cerundolo that much better than Sonego? I think they're pretty close on a grass court.
I think Sonego might be slightly better, but it's very close.
I think it's close. Like I think
better
maybe
shot maker, and Cerundolo is just a more steady player. So it's like what you like value more, right?
And I actually was going to go the opposite. Maybe Cerundolo might be a tad bit better, but like I didn't think you were going to say they were that close. Like I agree. I think they're really close. So like it's now going from plus 300 to plus 130. I think the market's overcorrecting for the win over Sonego.
Well, also the market overvalued Cressy in this event, right? We got to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so the fact that they overvalued Cressy, they're going to kind of value that win against Cressy more. But I watched that match. That was a horrible tennis match.
Yeah.
So, I'm all over Cerundolo here. I'm going to play both. Actually, the -2 at -110 is a more conservative play, and then I'm going to play the.
I think both are fine plays. Like it's just how aggressive you want to be. And like I said, I like being aggressive on Zhang matches because like. I mean, the variety of outcomes is so high. Like, I could easily see Zhang just like screwing this matchup completely.
Is that a player of the day candidate? An official?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I really like this play, or maybe the -2 if we want to be more conservative. But I really like some kind of Cerundolo play here. Like,
okay.
Like I said, my preferred play is like as a better is the Zhang the 2-0 because there's like the odds are so much better on it. You get 65 cents. It's plus 155 versus plus 155 versus -110.
I didn't realize it was this good. I looked at the 2 and I was like, I'm going to take that. But then, now that you're pointing out the -1.5 sets at plus 155, I think that's a no brainer. I just hit that.
That could be a play of the day. We'll put that as a play of the day. That'll be one.
Okay. All right. That's cool. Yeah. That's cool. All right. Next match, Mackie McDonald and Michael Emer. So Mackie is a 2-game favorite here, -155, over under 23 here. My play here is Emer money line. What about you?
Like I don't think I put I'm trying to see if I put anything in here yet.
You're staying away.
I was thinking about this one still. This is a tough one, man. I wanted to see what you were thinking here because, like, the thing, like, Mackey's a pretty good grass player, but I think this line is properly set. I'm probably going to stay away because I think this line is properly set. Like, the thing I was thinking of playing here was the under, and I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to get your thoughts on the under, or maybe an under 12.5 here because I was looking at this. So Mackey, right?
The over-under is pretty high. It's 23.
That feels really high for two guys. Like, Mackey doesn't have a great serve. Emer doesn't have a really good serve. Neither of these guys are hitting the ball big off the ground. Like, there should be some breaks.
And both guys have you know what? I like the under 23 because also both guys have a tendency of going away, right?
Yeah, and both these guys are going to be in Wimbledon. I don't know if these guys are really a threat to make a run. Mackey's probably a bigger threat than Emer, but like, I don't know, man. Like, so Mackey's played 9 matches on grass this year.
Mm-hmm.
In those 9 matches, three 4 sets have gone more than 10 games, including the 2 tiebreaks against Fritz today.
Interesting.
And you can see, right, like the under 10 games is minus 145. Like I was looking at that too, like the unders on the sets.
Mhm.
But I didn't love those. Yeah, yeah. I mean, so I don't know, man. And like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of his 6 of his 9 matches have gone under 20 games, which is insane for grass. But like,
Yeah.
and then if you look at the line, like the under 12.5 lines here are not great. Like I was hoping to hit an under 12.5, but for grass, they're really crappy.
Plus 105 and
Like these over
130,
12.5 lines are like, they look like they would for like a like a slow hardcourt match.
Yeah.
Which like makes sense because like in my mind, that's how this match is gonna play out. Like this, this isn't like the grass helps Mackey because like he'll win more points, but like it's not necessarily gonna matter that much. It's not gonna necessarily help his serve more than his return game.
So my rationale behind the Ymer money line is like, I don't think Mackey likes when the ball just keeps coming back. Right. I have a feeling, I feel like he tends to be over aggressive and tends to overhit. And when
He just hits a low margin flat ball.
well, exactly. So if the ball keeps coming back, which Emer is like really good at, like
I agree with the take, just not the reasoning. Like I agree with the take.
Yeah.
Don't think it's like Mackey gets over aggressive. I just think like he hits a flat ball. Like every ball he hits is going to be aggressive because it's flat.
Okay.
It's just like
right.
Columns.
So as the ball keeps coming back and someone makes you hit more and more balls and you have a low margin for error, you're going to end up missing.
Yep. I agree with everything else you're saying there.
So at plus 130, I thought that was just good enough to hit Emer because I think Mackey should be a slight favorite here, but I thought it should be
Emer's 2-0 all time. They played in Adelaide this year and Emer won, albeit it was 3-6, 7-6, 6-3, so close match.
Right.
I do think grass is probably the surface. If Mackey has to pick a surface to play this on, it's probably grass.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this line,
if this match happens on any other surface, though, I'm probably all over the Emer money line.
That's what I'm saying. I think this line is pretty well set. Like this is like if I was capping this, I would have it somewhere between 2 and 2.5 for Mackey.
See, I'd have it between 2 and 1.5.
So yeah, so like I don't like. I think given that there's juice on the line, right? Like the line is always juice. The book is always taking vig. I don't like. In my mind, the only play here I have potentially is the under 23, which I'm kind of starting. The problem is like Emer's played a bunch of 3-set matches, but like, I don't know, man. Like, do we?
I like
really,
it though. Like on paper, it makes sense because both guys are going to have a big serve. They're going to be plenty of breaks. Plus, both guys have a tendency of going away.
Yeah, just Emer hasn't done that this year. He's like Emer's been a little bit better about that this year.
Yeah,
not all the time, but like he's becoming a little bit more mature, and I think that's why you're seeing in the past year his ranking is has climbed, right? Like because he used to be a guy that had to like qualify to get into slams, and like now he's like getting into every event. And I think like the little bit better competing is why, but man, in a match the week before a slam, it's a Thursday. Like I know both these guys use the points, but man, if there was ever a time to take the under, this is the match.
I'm sticking with the Emer money line here, but I don't hate the underplay. Like I think that's the second best play here.
Yeah,
You're gonna stick with the under. You're gonna go under 23.
It's the only play I'm even considering at this point. Like,
okay.
I might. The problem is like under. Yeah, like I actually want to do like I wish Bovada like had like they used to have like the super overs and the super unders because like that's what I'd be looking at is like an under like getting like a plus 200 like an under 20.5 if I could an under 20
Okay.
but like The 23 is it's high though, right? Like
It is high. For these two guys who don't serve that big, it is high.
it's just the problem is like it could like the only way like this is happening is if it goes 3 sets. But like, man, I kind of like minus 105 on like I like it, man. I think I'm gonna hit it. Like
Gonna hit it. Okay.
I mean, like unders are never high confidence plays for me, but I think it's a low confidence, like,
Yeah, I don't think I wonder if we'll ever have a play of the day as an under. Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. But
like I like it as like a small unit dip.
Okay. So you're going the under, I'm going the Emer money line here.
Yeah.
Okay. Next match. Very interested to hear your take on this. Kecmanovic and Barrere.
All right, so here's my take, right? I pulled the stats, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this year on grass, player A is 2-2, has held 79% of the time, broken 16% of the time, won 63% of service points and 32% of return points. Their grass elo is 16-14. Player B is 3-2. Player B holds 85% of the time versus player A's 79%, and breaks 13% of the time versus player A's 16%. They win 65% of points on serve and 33% of points on return versus the 63 and 32 for player A. That's on grass, right? So small sample, 5 matches.
Okay.
We'll go to all matches this year.
Okay.
Player A is 17-17, holds 80% of the time and breaks 20%.
Okay.
Wins 64% of points on serve, 36% on return, and it has an overall elo of 1752. Okay. Player B has an overall record of 15-14, holds 82% of the time, breaks 18%, versus the 80% hold and 21% break for player A, and wins 66% of service points on 33% of on return versus the 64 and 36 for player A, right? So player B is 66-34, player A is 64-36, and has an elo of 1745 versus player B's 1752.
Holy shit, it's so freaking close.
So tell me which on a random surface, right? Like player it's damn close. And on the grass with a smaller surface, I'd argue player B has the slight edge. Player B is Barrere, player A is Kecmanovic. So I actually think I think it's pretty damn close to a coin flip match. And I'll take Barrere at the plus 110, but this is as low of a confidence bet as you can get. Because Kecmanovic and either of these players could mentally fade away, right? This is another potential under candidate, but I don't like it nearly as much because it's a low confidence play, but I like either the Barrere money line or the under. I slightly prefer the Barrere money line because it's plus money. I think I think it's just a pure coin flip.
That's very interesting.
On clay, on a different surface, I would buy more into the theory that Kecmanovic is going to feast on errors, but on grass it's a lot harder to do that. So I think on grass, the style matchup is kind of offset by the fact this is probably a good surface for Barrere.
Probably. I think he's slightly more comfortable moving forward. I think he has a slightly better serve.
I agree with all that.
It's tough. I mean, those stats are amazing.
The wind tomorrow is so I was looking at the weather. The wind tomorrow is between 5 and 10 miles an hour. So it's a small breeze, but nothing bad.
Is it sunny, cloudy? Rain?
Partly cloudy, mid 60s.
Okay, so the weather is okay. Barrere is one of my quarter picks, right? In that ridiculous quarter parlay.
Yeah.
So I might just stay away here and just root for Barrere here in terms of that crazy quarter parlay.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's probably where I'm leaning. It's a 50-50 match and you're getting plus money on Barrere. That's how I viewed it even before you spewed out those amazing statistics. Like I thought it was a 50-50 match, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I stared at this match and I was like, when I looked at this match at first, I was like, this feels 50-50 to me. Like, this could be a pure pick 'em.
Yeah.
And then I saw catch management was minus 130, and I was like, I kind of like Barrera, but like, what am I missing? And then I looked at the stats again, like the deeper stats, and I was like, there's no, like, if anything, like maybe Barrera's a little better statistically, but the style matchup's a little better for Kecmanovic, but the court's a little better for Barrera, and they're pretty equal players. Like,
right.
But I do think the under is also an interesting play here because I think like both of these guys are a candidate to just like go away. Like whoever like
I don't necessarily think so. I think both of these guys are kind of there to win the tournament because like they know that they're not big threats at Wimbledon, and they know they're going to have better chances in 2 out of 3.
That's
so
true.
I think like they feel like they can gain some points here in an easy draw and maybe sneak out a tournament win. So I think they're here that they're gonna play this match out. But all right, well that's interesting. So let's.
I mean, this draw. Both of these draws are crazy now, man. Like
crazy.
Like who's the best guy left in this draw in Eastbourne? Tommy Paul. It's like that's it. The only guy left here really that's a real guy who's a really really good player is Paul. I mean, Cerundolo's around too. It's really Paul and
Cerundolo. Yeah. It's those 2 guys to be sure.
Yeah.
Really. But all right, last match here, JJ Wolf and Tommy Paul. So Wolf is a 3-game dog here, plus 180. The over-under is 22.5. So my play here is Wolf plus 3. You agree?
I 100% agree with you. That's. I also think the Wolf money line is a decent look. I think it just depends how aggressive you want to get. But I prefer the games.
I don't like the Wolf money line here. I do think Paul squeaks this out because he just has better rally tolerance. Better movement, better rally tolerance.
What I want to see is the over-under on forehand winners in this match.
I mean, if that was a bet, I would go Wolf minus like 6 or 7.
But there's gonna be a lot. I mean, both guys are gonna have a lot of win. Like it's gonna be it's gonna be it's gonna be a display of good forehands. Wolf's serve is really good too on the grass. That slice serve,
it's pretty good. Yeah,
plays really well on the grass. Like this is. I mean, I think Wolf's game is actually pretty well suited for grass, to be honest.
And I think Paul can like be a little bit error prone, so maybe he can like, Wolf might be able to sneak in a first set here. And then also,
the other thing I love about this matchup is like Tommy Paul is such a good choke candidate.
He is.
Like even if he's up a set and a break, like even if he goes up like 6-4, 5-4, like Paul could choke it away, and then you get to 6-4, 7-6, and you get a lucky push.
Well, we commented on Paul, like even on his best surface, which is hard courts, like he would constantly play much worse when he would be ahead.
Yeah.
Remember that Acapulco match against Fritz?
Yeah.
He was up.
Oh yeah.
I think he was up like 40 love or something, serving for the match, and then he choked.
Yeah.
I mean, so I agree with you. And the fact that that's in play here, I like the plus 3.
Yeah. I mean, like definitely I have a lot more confidence in the plus 3, but that money line at 180, like I like that's good plus money that I don't hate betting that either.
I don't like the plus 1.5 sets at minus 150.
No.
It's not good. No.
But
that plus 3 might be a candidate for play of the day too.
I'm really big on that plus 3. I mean, I do think Paul should be the favorite here, so like it's not like the book's not that far off, but I like it. Like I'm on the Wolf plus 3, and I'm on the
I'm slightly more confident in the Cerundolo though.
Well, I think they're both plays of the day. I mean, we could have a double play of the day.
Nice. All right. Well, let's go to Mallorca and see what we have in store there. All right, Mallorca. So
those are my 2 favorite plays of the day are the Wolf and the Zhang matches we just talked about. I agree with you.
I agree with you. Harris and Kotov. Harris is a 3-game favorite, minus 225 favorite. The over-under is 23.5.
This is a funny matchup because like you never would have thought this would have happened, right?
Right.
And it's a product of partially just a ridiculous draw. Like, I don't know if you realize this. Like, there were six qualifiers / lucky losers, I think, in that like quarter of the draw. Like somehow all the qualifiers got drawn into the same section. Yeah, I mean, if you look at the draw, it's hilarious.
That's insane. Harris, Safalun, and Shelby. Kotov was a lucky loser.
Like literally all 5.
Yeah, besides the two seeds in that section.
Right, which can't be by rule, right? Like the 2 seeds by rule are direct entry guys.
Right. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then Rinderneck is a lucky loser too.
These tournaments are hilarious because look how many lucky losers guys. It was like 3 or 4, and the same thing happened in the other tournament too. Like it's just insane. Like
why would anyone try hard in qualifying?
What?
Why would anyone try hard in qualifying?
Why would wait? You don't even need to play the second round of qualies. Just have one round and be like, all right, all you guys get in. Like, if there's too many guys, it's a 28-man tournament. So if you have too many guys, just like you can still put them in a tournament and just have the top 4 seeds play first round matches.
Right.
It's better for the tournament.
It is. It's crazy.
Yeah, poor James McCabe, man. He got screwed over.
I know.
Like if the other 3 guys get in and he doesn't, like what a garbage. And he lost 7-6 in the third. Like he put in all that effort, barely lost, and he doesn't get to play.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So the first match is Yannick Hoffman and Feli Lopez. Oh no, I'm sorry. We're still going over the Harris Kotov match. I forgot. Do you have a play here?
At even money, I'll take the -3.
That's where I was going.
If it was juiced at like -115, I wouldn't. But like this is like just far enough where I'll hit it. Kotov, like, I mean, look, like Kotov on grass, right? He lost to Eden Lesham, who I'd never heard of, ranked 354, 2-4.
Mm-hmm.
Lost to Yaron, 4-4. Beat Verdasco 1-6. Fine. Has Verdasco done anything recently?
No, nothing.
Yeah, Verdasco is nothing now. Yeah. Verdasco's won 1 match since February.
Mm-hmm.
Kotov did beat Verdasco. Lost to Lee 2, who's ranked 247 in the world, and then avenged that loss in the first round. And then he beat Fokina, which, like, I'm still not convinced that, like, I'm sure Fokina wasn't training for that match. Like, that's not, like, if he, like, maybe Fokina was trying, maybe he wasn't, but, like, regardless, like, Fokina's not too upset about losing that match. Like, he's you know, it's like, it's not a good loss, but I'm sure it's not, like, he's not haunted by it.
No, also Fokina, it's not. It doesn't really show that you played well. It's more that like he was just super erratic, right? And I
thought that was a big part of that match. Like Kotov played really well. Kotov has a good forehand. Like Kotov has some talent, right? He's got some body issues, but
I think that's a good way of putting it.
But he's kind of the anti-Fusevitz, but he does have a big forehand. I mean, he has some game. He has a decent serve, big forehand, but not really a great athlete for grass. Like better than you'd think. Like he's a better than you think athlete, but I still think he's like a good athlete. Harris's game suits the grass pretty well.
It does. And he's kind of rounding into form, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, look, like he didn't really do anything before he got here, and like it's not like he's been amazing either, but like, I don't know. He gave Zverev 2 decent sets at Roland Garros. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Like, I'm more of a believer. I don't know. Like, I'm more of a believer. Like, at least there's like 5. There's 5 wins in this tournament. Like with Harris to look at, and like.
I agree with you.
If it was -4, I would never hit this. If it was -3.5, I would never. Like, if this was -4 to -4.5, I'd probably go to Kotov. But I think at 3, Also, Kotov's matches have had a lot of breaks. Like Kotov's very like he has a decent serve, but he's very breakable.
He's
So I'm
erratic.
not that worried about laying the 3.
I don't know. Like I feel like Harris has a very attacking game, so he's gonna force Kotov into like defensive positions, which is gonna be
Yeah.
very hard for Kotov to kind of maneuver out of them.
Yeah. I
Oh,
mean,
I just think also this matchup kind of favors Harris here. And I think his chances of squeaking out a break are higher than Kotov's.
and like with 3, you only need 1 break to push. Like,
So I actually hit 2.5 at -120.
okay, so you got it before the market got there.
Yeah.
I mean, I like 2.5 a lot better.
I mean, you could hit it at -130.
Oh. Wow.
I don't know how much juice you're willing to lay here, but I actually prefer that. I don't know. 3 is like, that's where it becomes kind of shaky on, especially on grass.
Well, that's why I said like if this was a juiced 3, I would never hit it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, but the fact that it's 3 with no juice,
Yeah.
like 3 with literally no juice, I'm okay with it. But I don't really have a preference between the 2.5 at -130 and the 3 at even.
Okay.
I would like the 2.5 at -120, but I obviously can't get that anymore.
Right.
So yeah, I mean,
Okay. Well, we're kind of on the same page here, right? So, but I don't think it's like I'm confident enough to make it a play of the day.
no, this is a very low confidence bet. Like this is I mean, like honestly, all these bets are low confidence bets. Like if you're somebody who varies units, like I wouldn't have much on any of these matches, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
A, it's just difficult to bet these matches the week before a slam, but like I mean, I think all these lines are relatively well set. Like we're kind of like uh scratching for like really thin value here.
We are. We are. Next match, Rinderknecht and Eubanks. Rinderknecht is a half a game favorite, -130. The over-under is 25.5. I mean, this is a match where I'm just kind of like riding my futures, or riding that quarter parlay that I have Rinderknecht in. So I might just stay away here.
Yeah, I actually like Eubanks here at +110. Well, actually, I don't.
Really?
This to me is a pure stay away. So in terms of anything tennis related, I like Eubanks. But Eubanks just played a long 2 hours 45 with Shelton today.
True.
So there's a potential fatigue angle here. And like I don't think this line is like I think in terms of pure tennis, this line should be flipped. But I'm
Really? Okay.
like if there wasn't a fatigue spot.
So
Maybe
besides
not flip. I think maybe more like I would have Eubanks like -120 and Rinderknecht at even money. But I think Eubanks is a little, and it's not much, but I think he's a little less error prone. He's a little bit more
Really?
solid than Rinderknecht.
Oh, it's so close, man. It's so close. Because like
A
Eubanks
little
is
bit.
error
Like
prone
I'm
too.
talking like I think there's a like if it goes to a tiebreak, I think Eubanks is like 53-47 in a tiebreak. You know, like that's what we're talking, and that's why I'm saying like I think the right line is like -120 even money.
I think Eubanks has a slightly better serve.
That too, but like it's really close.
So
like
honestly, like I'm thinking just on principle, hitting the under 25.5.
the problem is like it's such a close matchup. Like this could like the
But
chances going 3.
But the over 25 is juiced.
Oh, I'm not going the over. I'm never going the over here. I just don't think I don't think it's very playable over under because like the 3 set line is only +115, but I think that's like so in play, man. Like
it is in play, but you mentioned the fatigue factor on
well, that's why I'm not taking
Banks.
So maybe the under's decent. Like, but honestly, like if you're gonna play the fatigue factor, like just take Rinderknecht minus half the game. Or minus a game, or like do like if you really like the fatigue angle, you could take Rinderknecht 2-0 at like +150 or something. I don't know, man. I mean, you could take the under.
I'm taking the under. It's a it's a 1-unit play here. I'm going with the under. But
I'm staying away completely. I think like
anyway,
this match is.
I just like under 25s and a halves are just so high.
It's
Especially
basically a 2-set, 3-set line.
but especially when one guy played a long match the previous day, might be fatigued. You don't know.
Yeah.
And if you don't get the 2 tie breaks, then it, as you said, it's a 2-set, 3-set line. And like to get 2 sets at the closest you can get to plus money, I mean, that's amazing. So I don't know. I just on principle, I like hitting that.
I get it.
All right, next match, Hoffman and Feliciano Lopez. So I have a very, very clear play. This is actually one of my favorite plays of the day.
It's like pretty decently priced.
I mean, I would be very surprised if you don't tell me on this. Hoffman -3, even money.
I don't know, man. Like Lopez, he keeps showing up. The other thing is, I was looking at this. Lopez has gotten to a tiebreak, I think, in every match he's played this year. Like he's actually been a lot better than you think. I'm looking this up again, but like just to confirm it. But like,
all right, but okay, but like let's think about it. Lopez also played today a 3-setter late in the day, in the evening, right? It was past 6 o'clock. This match is third on tomorrow. So that's less than an 18-hour turnaround after playing a physical match today against.
It's like it'll be like a 20-hour turnaround, but yeah, close enough.
So the fact that it's a 1-day turnaround, it's pretty quick after he played 3 sets. I just don't think he's going to have enough gas in the tank.
Yeah, like.
And the fact that you're getting it -3 at an unjuiced price of even money, I think that's a no-brainer, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's just like, man, like there still is the narrative that this is it for Lopez, right? So like he's gonna empty the tank. Like there's no tank left. Like, and he's like this is it.
But if you have nothing in the tank anyway, you have nothing to give. Doesn't matter.
No,
Doesn't matter how much you have in the tank if you have nothing in it.
I know. You're absolutely right. It doesn't matter how much you want to give if the body's out of gas. Yeah.
Right.
Like the problem is I just hate playing like.
If you want to just stay away from this match and just like root for Lopez from like just a betting, like a rooting perspective, and just like I just want Lopez to win as a fan, I totally get it.
I think that's part of it, to be honest. Like I think that's probably half of it is that I just like really want like you can't say you don't want Lopez to win.
Right. I mean, besides the fact that Hoffman is also my 800 to 1 futures.
That's tough. That's tough. Like that's tough. But
so I'm gonna be rooting for Hoffman tomorrow.
Well, but not if one of your legs. Like, what happens when one of your legs dies early? Then will you be playing? Then will you be on Hoffman?
That's true. Well, then I might just be too demoralized to watch. Period.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Feely, like, but I'm looking at this, like, honestly, man, like, the only angle here is the fatigue angle. Because every single match, the only match that Lopez has played this year that hasn't featured a tiebreak is the Purcell match. Like, he's still serving good. Like, and his game, like, I know there might not be any gas left in the legs, but how much gas do you need to play his style of play? He's not moving anyways. He's not like running a lot of balls down. It's serve and like get to the net and hit goofy shots. Like he's slicing.
You commented during the
like,
match today against Thompson. Just look at his facial expression, right? It looks like, how the hell am I going to get 3 holds?
Yeah, but like he
get
did.
The hell out of here. He did.
But he did. Like, and like this might annoy Hoffman, like coming out and playing this style. Like, I don't know, man. I could like. the line I was looking at, like kind of from a fun heart line, is the Lopez plus 1.5 in the first set at minus 130. You just need 6 holes to get to a tiebreak.
It's juice though. Like if it was the other way around and it was even money.
I know. I was really the other comical part of this, which I really don't understand, is why is he a bigger underdog to win the first set than the second set? Like if anything, his only hope is the first. Like if anything, it's the first set, right? Like
well, I hit the first set line in both matches and I won both bets.
Yeah, like I'm
What's the plus 1.5 sets here for Lopez?
minus 145. I don't like it. Like if I'm gonna play this, I'm gonna play the Feely minus the Feely plus plus 1.5 games in the first set. Like
how about the over 23?
Well, the reason I like the plus 1.5 games in the first set is because like if the legs give out in the second set, that's fine, right? Like I don't need them to it's kind of like it kind of hedges a little bit against the fatigue because like I agree with you, the fatigue is a concern, right? Like,
but there's also a like a narrative where he might need some time to kind of get his juices flowing.
I don't know, man. Really, like you don't think Felix like he can figure out how to warm up at this point in his career? He's 41. He's played for 23 years on the tour. I'm pretty sure he can figure out how to get warmed up for a tennis match. Like some of these young kids, maybe that's believable, but like,
Okay, fine.
He knows what stretches he needs to do pre-match, like, which might not be anything at all. Like maybe he just walks on the court and doesn't warm up at all. Like who knows? Maybe. Like
I'm all over Hoffman minus 3 here.
I get it. Like, and I'll probably end up telling you it's just like, I don't know, man. Like, the concern, right, is
watch
like
this match from like a fan perspective. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah. And I might do the Feely plus 1.5 just for like funsies, and I get to root for Feely for a set.
Okay, all right, that's fair.
Yeah.
And then like if my 800 to 1 parlay is still intact, you can like root for me, and if not, just root for Philly. Like just play it like that,
Yeah,
like
I think so.
That's fine.
Like,
man, a lot is going to happen before that match, so we'll know if like because I need Rinderknecht to win, I need Cerundolo to win.
Yeah.
So, all right, Monterino and Mute. We both have Monterino futures here, right? We both have Monterino quarter at plus 100. And I think I have him to win the tournament at what, 650 plus 650?
Yeah, we both have him at 650. We both have the same thing. I mean, he's the best guy left in it. Like if he's healthy, there's nobody left here who should become close to him.
I know.
Like if you look at that, like Lloyd Harris is not an ATP level player. Kotov's not an ATP level player on grass. Like Eubanks is the only guy who's like remotely scary in my mind. Rinderknecht is kind of scary too because he's got a lot of power, but like, man, like
yeah.
Mute is scary because he's talented, but he's such a clown. Like
he is a clown. Ugh. These set spreads are terrible. Like Mute to win a set is minus 155. Like that's terrible. Yeah.
I'm not playing this. So my take on it is I think this is a semi decent. Like I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this is a perfect spread set by the book. I think it's close, but I'm a little worried about the injury risk still with Manarino. I haven't seen. It's so hard to get tennis news, but like I know he's been having some injury issues.
But he also had a day off. He played his round of 16 match on Tuesday.
Fine, but like if we get better information on injuries, I would back that take. But like, I don't know how many like. There's plenty of injuries.
He was fine playing 3 sets in the previous round, so I don't think the injury is like that bad. He came back from a set down in the last round against we played. Oh, Guido Pella.
Yeah, that's Guido Pella.
Yeah, this is Corentin Mute. Is it really much different?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Like,
It is? You really think
I mean,
so?
Mute plays tennis on a regular basis, right? Pella,
He also
like,
clowns on a regular basis.
I know.
I mean, I'm not really. So my favorite play here in this match is Monterino over 12 and a half at minus 120.
I just don't like matches between old injured dudes and clowns. That just screams to me, stay away. Like you really feel like you know it, especially like over 12.5 is like kind of a specific line. Like you really feel like you understand a specific game script here.
I just think Mute might win a set or might be competitive in set, but I think Monterino will pull it out. That's how I feel. But your take is totally valid.
Like
I
I can't
totally hear you. Old injured guys versus clowns. I mean, yeah.
like
Okay. All right. Stay away. I'm hitting the over 12 and a half here. And I'm gonna ride the Monterino futures as well. So
yeah, I mean, I guess that's the thing, right? I have Mount futures to ride, so I can still have a really interest in this match. As much as I like, again, like I said, like and like it's nice too because like my rooting interest matches my betting interest here, right? Like
yeah.
I win like I would prefer like I like Manarino.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I don't love Mute.
No. I really don't
so
like Mute.
so like yeah.
Right. All right. So that being said, my 800 to 1 uh parlay is Barrere to win the third quarter in Eastbourne, Cerundolo to win the second quarter in Eastbourne, Wolf to win the fourth quarter in Eastbourne, Rinderknecht to win the third quarter in Mallorca, and Hoffman to win the first quarter in Mallorca. So Barrere needs to beat who's he playing? Oh, Kecmanovic. Cerundolo needs to beat Zhizhen Zhang. Wolf needs to beat Tommy Paul. Rinderknecht needs to beat Eubanks, and Hoffman needs to beat Feli Lopez. So if I place that parlay now, the odds would probably be what, like 20 to 1?
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah. You're
Right?
getting 800. It's amazing.
So
It's amazing. Like
yeah,
you could win that. You
I
could
could.
hit that parlay. I don't think you will, but you could.
Now, Bet365 gives me a option to switch picks. So if I wanted to like change the Wolf pick and bet Paul, I could if I wanted to. It would change the payout because like Wolf is the underdog.
Yeah.
So is there a pick there where you think like it's better to back like a
But how
favorite?
much are they going to change it? How much are you going to get screwed over if you switch picks?
So like the payout is 4,000 right now, $5 to 4,000. So, but if I like change Wolf to Paul, it's like it goes from 4,000 to like 2,000.
Oh, it's not that bad then.
But that being said, it doesn't really matter because the payout is so massive that it's just like, who cares? You just want to win.
Yeah, I mean, look, who are the five guys again?
Barrere, Cerundolo, Wolf, Rinderknecht, and Hoffman.
Barrere, Cerundolo.
Wolf,
Only
Rinderknecht.
only one of those guys who isn't who I don't think if I could if you just want to win, the only one of those guys I would switch is maybe Wolf or Paul. I think Paul probably wins that match, but like I don't know, man. Do you want to give up? Do you want to give up half your winnings to switch from Paul to Wolf or Wolf to Paul?
So if I switch it to Paul, my payout goes from 4K to 1,700. Is that worth it?
I mean, I don't think so. Based on like they're cutting your payout, right? Like I mean, mathematically, I don't think so because they're cutting your payout in half. And like, is Paul 2/3 likely to win that match? I don't think so.
I think I'm gonna leave it the way it is because like if I switch it to Paul and Wolf wins, I'll like never be able to live with myself.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And we're actually back in the Wolf +3.
Well,
So
I think Wolf is the right play there. Like that's the thing. I just don't think. I think like if it was, but if it was Wolf plus half a game, like if you could get Paul minus half a game, you take that,
right.
right? But like, yeah, I don't know, man. I think like the EV math guy in me says to stick with Wolf. But
Okay. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it. Right now, I could cash out $5 for 133.
all right. Have you looked at all at the Wimbledon qualies yet? Kind of moving on.
Oh yeah, Qualies. Okay. All right.
Have you looked at all? I haven't even looked at them yet, to be honest.
I have not. So keep in mind that they're best of 5.
You can't be an ATP because Wimbledon's not an ATP event. You got to click on just tennis. There you go.
It's the greatest day in qualifying tennis where you
It
get
is. It is.
best of 5 qualifying matches. Like that's absolutely amazing.
The only thing is they all start at the same time.
That's true. I hate that.
You don't stagger them, so it kind of sucks.
It is bad.
It's not ATP, man.
Oh crap.
You have to click on all tennis. I think, yeah.
Where is it? This.
It was there. You just have to like scroll down through them.
There we go. All right. Anything catches your eye? I mean, obviously, we're not going to go through every match here.
I got to look a little bit more into Marathon versus Martyrer.
That's what caught my eye. I was going to go Martyr money line.
I ended up not playing the Marathon money line today against. I ended up not playing the Emer money line today, so I saved myself some money there.
Did? Oh,
I didn't. No, I ended up like laying off that after I was talking on the pod.
okay.
Brewer Vertanen, the over catches my eye there. Those are two good servers who don't do a lot of other things very well. I kind of like the over 41.5 there.
That's a really high over though.
I know, but like I don't know, it's a play your ass off kind of match, right? Like
how about the I think Vertanen deserves to be a slight favorite though.
yeah, but I don't think
I think the money line is appropriately set. I actually don't mind the Vertanen minus 1.5 sets at plus 110.
Okay. Yeah, gotta look I mean, I have to look at all these more before I'm gonna make like any official picks, but I think that's interesting. I think Medvedev against Billy Harris is interesting. I gotta look.
I like minus 1.5 sets in Medvedev and Harris.
Yeah, I think that it looks a little tight to me, that spread.
I can't get a read on fucking Oscar Ote. Like every time I fade him, he wins, and then every time I bet him, he loses.
Yeah, I want to look at that match. He might be like a quad A player. Yeah, have you ever heard the baseball term quad A player? A guy who's it's a guy who's like an all-star in AAA, but not good enough to play in the majors.
Mm-hmm.
He might be like that version of tennis. Like he's not good enough to win matches against anybody who's ATP level, but he's good enough to dominate to do well against like these challenger level guys. So he ends up in ATP level matches.
Okay.
Yeah. I gotta look more at it. I'm not convinced they're either way.
Yeah.
I feel like Joe's. I kind of like Show there in some capacity. I feel like Kula's getting a lot of hype as a grass court guy. I don't know.
Only a 4-game spread on grass, though. That's not that much. I'm actually
like I said, that's why I said it's some capacity.
4.
I'm not sure if I like the game spread or the money, like what I like there, but I'll be looking at that one.
That was a really good call today. You hit the Watnuki, over 12.5.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
that one I actually did hit. Um,
These
I
matches.
might look again on what the over like. I think that's another one where like Watnuki over 19.5 might be interesting. Just because he's like Watnuki's so good, man, but he's like so erratic.
The over 18.5.
Over 19.5.
Oh, minus 120. No. Oh,
Oh,
wow.
oh, ew. No. No.
Yeah, I know. That's
The
terrible.
over 3.5 sets there. Oh, you have to play their 4 sets or 5 sets?
Yeah. Do you like Watnuki minus 1.5 set even money?
I don't know, man. I gotta look. I mean, it's hard without looking at these matches because again, like these are just like it's hard to have a feel for these, but like
I like Seaboth Wild against Barrios Vera minus 2.
yeah, I don't know. Like I don't know. I don't have a good feel for how either of their games translate to grass. They're both like play grinders.
True.
Albot almost lost today to Johannes Monday, who's a college player who plays at the University of Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
He's -3 against Alves, but then I also like the other thing I gotta look at is these are all best of 5. So you also have to take a little bit of a look at that and see who's the better best of 5 player because you never know there, right?
Yeah, these guys don't play much best of 5 tennis, to be honest. So
No, so like it just makes these matches are all just really hard to like. That's why you really like. I'm gonna need to spend. Like, it's only 16 matches, so like I can spend an hour and probably get through these all by
yeah,
before I go to bed. But like I gotta
I
look
honestly don't want to play too many of these because like I actually want to like watch the match that I'm betting.
It's also a matter of like I just man like
I don't want to bet so many of these because like they're all at the same time.
I also feel like how can you have like with there's so much that it's everything's so limited here, right? Because most of these guys don't like not many guys play the grass challengers. Like a lot of these guys, a lot of these clay guys, like they just come here for qualies. Like they don't even play like the grass challengers.
Right.
So like you've got what like 2 matches of grass court data to look at. So you're trying to judge based on like
Very, very tough.
based on game, but like okay, does like style translate to grass or does it not? Like are they comfortable? Because like a big part of it's just like are they comfortable, and how do you know if they're comfortable if you've only seen them play 2 matches? So it's
Well, I actually think the one match that or the one guy that really his game translates well to grass is Kovacevic. Like,
yeah,
I
he
think he has a good
-3
ground.
against Enzo might be a good play. I gotta look into that a little bit more.
Who did Enzo beat today? Didn't he get a retirement?
I think he did.
Yeah, Chung.
Yeah.
And then Kovacevic beat what Jesper de Jong today?
This is a pretty good win.
Colorini. I think I'm gonna
De
go.
Jong's a good win.
I think I'm gonna hit that.
Yeah.
I really think I'm just gonna limit it to 2 plays because like I want to focus on those matches and watch them because they're all at the fucking same time. Like I can't watch like 7 matches at once.
Manny, you don't have a multi-screen device that you can put 15 matches on, like little squares.
I do, but I also need to focus on Cerundolo against Zhang, which I have way more money on.
18 squares, fine. Give little 18 little squares.
Yeah, I guess I can. But watching 16 matches at once, I mean that's pretty bad scheduling, to be honest.
It was intentional.
Why?
They put 1 men's and 1 women's on each court. I think the theory is because they go best of 5, like, and because these are all on outer courts.
Why, they're worried about darkness? They start at like 11 a.m.
Rain. Like you don't want these matches to carry over into like I don't think it's that big of a deal, but they don't want these matches to carry over to like Friday or Saturday.
Okay, fair. Yeah. Well, I think it's fantastic that they play best of 5 the last round of qualies. I think it's great.
Speaking of which, it is
Yeah.
currently raining in Wimbledon.
Oh, really? Well,
Yeah.
now it
It's
doesn't
supposed to
matter.
stop mid-morning, but so it should be fine for the tennis, but like
All right.
but yeah.
All right. So quick summary of our bets. So we have what, 2 play of the days?
Yep, and
2 official plays?
they're both in Eastbourne, right?
Uh so we got Cerundolo minus 1.5 sets.
Yep, at 155.
Yep. Plus 155.
Yeah.
And then we have
Wolf +3.
Wolf plus 3.
And
Okay.
then Brad also has the under on McDonald Emer.
I have Yemer money line.
Yep. And I also have the Barrera. I got to play on all these matches. I also have the Barrera money line at +110.
I think we both have that.
But like in terms of confidence, guys, like the bets we feel good about are the Cerundolo +1, the 2-0 Cerundolo, and the Paul and the Wolf +3. The Barrera and the, at least for me, the Barrera and the McDonald lines are much more like leans. Like I'll play them, but they're much more leans than they are like things
So
I feel
actually,
good about.
my bet here is not Barrera money line. I thought it was. It's actually Barrera over 12.5 at minus 110.
Okay. All right.
That's my play there. Well, I'm also just rooting for Barrera because of my parlay.
Yeah.
And then JJ Wolf +3, which is our official play. So okay. And then in Mallorca, for a summary, I have
We're both on
Harrison.
Lloyd Harris at the -3.
Well,
Or
you have
the
minus 3, I have
-2.5, right? I have the
right?
-3.
But mine is slightly juiced at minus
Yeah.
120. Yours is even money. I have Rinderneck money line against Eubanks.
And you have the under, right?
Yeah, and the under. That's right.
What if you parlayed those, Manny? I know we're in the summary section, but what if you parlayed those?
Rinderneck and under.
240.
Ooh. All right, I'll cash out of the other one and hit that.
All right.
I like that. Hanfman Lopez.
Manny has Hanfman -3.
That's right. Yep.
Brad toying with taking Lopez +1.5 games in the first set at the and seeing like now that juice might have come down a little bit. Yeah, juice is down to -5.
Nice. Okay. And then Monorino Mute, I have Monorino over 12.5, and you're staying away.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, it did stay away from me.
Okay.
So we have a lot of low confidence plays tomorrow, right? I think is how you define it.
Yeah, but the two that we're confident in were
The 2 game bet match plays of the day we feel pretty good about, but the other ones are all pretty low confidence, I think.
And we're back in the green with our official plays, which is crazy.
We're back in the what?
We're back in the green.
Oh yeah, well, it's not crazy we're back in the green. Yeah, it's exciting times.
It is. So all right, very good.
Oh shit, Yankees got through a perfect game.
Really?
Yeah, switching to like random sports news, but yeah. 24th perfect game, Domingo Germán in Major League history.
Wow. Perfect game, not a no-hitter, a perfect game.
Not out here, a perfect game.
Yeah.
Which is sad because if I had realized it was going on, I would have turned on the Yes channel.
Yeah. That's crazy. All right, well, our pod schedule, so it's a busy schedule, man. Tomorrow we'll be off. Thursday tomorrow's Thursday. Friday we will talk. We'll do grass court power rankings. Is that right?
Yeah, we'll just do grass court power rankings and recap up these tournaments.
And I think the finals are on Saturday, right?
So yeah, then Saturday we'll pod. Right, we're playing a pod Saturday.
We're podding with a special guest.
Yeah, which we'll announce at the time.
Yeah.
But we are, but we're podding Saturday. We'll recap the finals for like 5 minutes, and then we'll do pretty much pre-Wimbledon talk, and it'll be
draw talk,
and first round matches. Yeah.
Draw
talk, outrights, and futures and first round matches.
That's going to be
Yeah, that's probably gonna be, guys. That'll probably be a 4-hour pod. So get pumped for that. And it's gonna be like 4 hours of full betting, guys. There's not gonna be much recap in there. It's gonna be like full talk. So it's gonna be like
exciting times.
It's gonna be exciting times. It's gonna be a lot, but I think the listeners will get it out Saturday night. That way the listeners have some time. But like it might be worth a listen.
Yeah, you guys will have all of Sunday to listen and dive deep. So it's good.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. Yeah, it's exciting, and obviously during Wimbledon we'll have pods throughout the week. Hopefully do a Twitter Spaces on the weekend.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so. I think we'll probably. I mean, I would guess. Ideally, we'll have like 2 pods a week, maybe 2-3 pods a week. It's tough for us to get more than one around. I mean, it's like.
Well, we both work during the week, right? So it's tough. But yeah, next week I'm off, so I'll be active on the Twitter during Wimbledon. But I know you work, Brad. Unfortunately,
well, I mean, it's the 4th actually, so I actually have a couple days off.
Oh, sweet, sweet, amazing.
Yeah, so I'll be able to watch a little Wimbledon.
Great.
Maybe the first round I'll be a little more active on, but yeah.
Good. Exciting times, everyone. Exciting times. We're pumped. It's amazing. So
thanks to the viewers again, as always. Thanks to the followers. The follower count is damn near 450 now.
Crazy. Yeah, it's really ramping up.
It's 447.
Nice.
So yeah, it is slowly growing.
Yep.
And last pod got 40 views.
Wow. Okay. We're in the 40 range.
Yeah.
Nice. And we have what?
Yeah, well, I think it's because we're now next to the other game bet match. We're now next to the Bet Rivers Network's Wimbledon preview is the one that's related to us. So
okay, good.
That and a town hall with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. So I'm still not completely sure as to Google's analytics here, but like at least we're now like we're not with like rain. Like before we were like with the rain to put you to sleep. So at least Google is starting to back us a little bit more.
Okay. That's good. Still not enough to get some ad revenue, right? I think we're still far away from that, but
40 views. I don't think we're gonna get 40 views. That's like a couple of our buddies are watching, but yeah, I mean, it's it's moving in the right direction. So
it's good. Well, that being said, I mean, besides the viewership and all that, we're just having a lot of fun doing this. I mean, it's been a great time.
Yeah, we continue to increase the chatter, which is awesome. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, guys. So thanks everybody for talking, pushing, retweeting. We're getting a fair amount of retweets and guys and people backing us. If we want to backers, we appreciate it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right. Have a good night, everyone.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Peace out.